You're watching a Famicast video review of berbrook on the Nintendo Switch. My name is James Shelton and I reviewed this game for the Famicast.com. berbrook is a throwback to the point-and-click games of the late 1990s. Its story is set in the 1960s, and the narrative feels like an episode of Lost or Stranger Things, while the visuals look like handcrafted clay models. It's an intriguing mix for sure, and if you like all of those things, you'll probably end up liking berbrook. For those only partially familiar or interested in those concepts I just laid out, you might have to be a bit more cautious before you splash down the cash. First up, the visuals are a big part of this game, and for the most part they're extremely well done. There are quite a few locations in the town of berbrook, and you really get to know the place throughout the story. All the characters look like actual clay models that have come to life, and if you're a fan of that admittedly very European aesthetic, then you'll get a kick out of it. You'll get a kick out of interacting and chatting with these people, and the voice work is pretty good too. However, everyone except the main character is voiced by German speakers speaking in English, which gives it a kind of otherworldly feel, almost like an episode of Twin Peaks.
Hans Tannhauser. Oh yes, here we have it.
Say, is it a quiet room?
Seeking some peace and quiet,
Well, I'm working on a text and I could really use some serenity.
Text?
It's up to you whether you find this charming or bizarre, as sometimes you're not sure if their strange wording is intentional or due to budget restraints from not allowing a full set of English voice actors. After all, this game was developed in Germany. Next, onto the story, which of course I won't spoil. It starts off pretty traditionally and then starts to get pretty weird. Looking back at the first couple of chapters of the game, they are kind of almost plain compared to what actually happens near the end. In a nutshell, you're a scientist, a physicist, who visits a dusty old mountain town for a vacation that you won in a competition, but you don't remember entering. Intriguing. Well, if you liked any of the TV shows I've referenced so far, Lost, Stranger Things, Twin Peaks, then you'll probably like where it goes. By the end, I actually wanted a little bit more, which is also kind of how I feel at the end of lots of episodic TV shows, especially sci-fi ones, so it could just be me. Next, onto how the game lets you progress through the story. So this is a PC to console port of a cursor-based game, so you'll be using the right analog stick to move your quote-unquote mouse around the screen to highlight objects. Once you're ready to click something, you hit one of the directions on the D-pad to either touch, talk, look, or use an item on that said area or object. On Switch, you can actually also move around your character with the left stick, and you can even hold down the right trigger to run, to explore the areas. The controls work well enough, and although you do run into parts where sometimes your character gets stuck in places and you have to kind of massage the controls to get him out, it's fiddly, but it's nothing game-breaking. The bulk of the gameplay is talking to people for clues, picking up objects around the environment, and then using the objects on other things or giving them to people, places around town, things like that. If you're not a fan of these slow, methodical games or listening and reading to dialogue, this game won't magically cure you of that. It's exactly what you'd expect from this genre, for better or worse. Personally, I'm a lapsed fan of that genre, but I ended up having a good time. I did get stuck on several occasions, and when I found the answer, I sometimes said, "Oh, of course, silly me." But I also did say, "Wait, how the hell was I supposed to know that?" So I guess results may vary. Overall, the quirky story and retro stylings of the graphics made sure I had a good enough time in berbrook, but please pay attention to my caveats before you make the trip yourself. My final score is 7.5. We actually have a full walkthrough of this game on our YouTube channel, so please go ahead and check that out. If you decide to buy this game and you get stuck, please check it out. For more videos on berbrook and more video reviews and lots of other cool podcasts and other things, please consider subscribing to our amazing and free YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Peace.